pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is one nation, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, let's start right off with the minutes from the February 19th meeting. Everyone get a chance to take a look at them?
Sounds like a Zoom ring.
Any corrections or comments? Hearing none. The minutes are accepted. All right. First up, Jessica McCormick on behalf of Verus Street neighborhood requests permission to use Verus Park to hold a neighborhood egg hunt April 19th from 3 to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Jessica.
That's exactly it.
All right. If you would, and this goes for anyone else in the audience presenting, just if you would state your name and your address for the record,
Okay.
and then just tell us a little bit besides what we already know.
Okay, so Jessica McCormick, 63 Cummings Avenue. We live around the corner from Berry Park. We just want to do an Easter egg hunt where everybody brings their own eggs. Parents throw them out. Nobody, it doesn't cost anything to come to this. It's just all the neighborhoods, the streets, Pratt, East Lawn, Cummings, Berry, and throw out the Easter eggs and get a food truck, and people just buy the food themselves. Bring your own basket, hang out, bring a boombox with like a microphone to say on your market set go. Maybe somebody dresses up as an Easter bunny. I don't know. It's probably like it's spring break weekend, so I'm thinking like 30 to 50 families. So
And this is what time? 3 to 5 p.m.
Sorry, what was the date? April 19th, the day before Easter. Okay. And we would do it like little kids on the part of the playground, and all the parents be responsible for helping them clean up at the end. And then the kids go on the bigger side. Just to keep it separate.
Got it. Any questions? Seems pretty straightforward.
Yep. Do we give out permits already at that time? It's not an issue. Okay.
The food truck that I have has a permit.
No, I meant like for baseball, softball, whatever. Yeah. But Galen will block it out. Okay, perfect.
April 19th, yeah.
Okay.
No problem. All right, great. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Appreciate it. Any further discussion? Anything from the audience? All right, back to the commission. All those in favor?
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy.
Thanks. I have to go to a cocktail party now.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, next up. Lou is not here. Is someone presenting?
She's on the phone.
Oh, Lou, okay. All right, Lou Herman, Make Music Day. Request permission to use the Pocket Park on Post Road at Fairfield University's Center for Arts and Minds building as a venue for Make Music, Fairfield, June 21st from 12 to 9 p.m. Lou, take it away.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Lou Human. I coordinate Make Music Fairfield with Mark Barnhart and Mary Alice Limperopoulos. It's our 8th year. This is the global music festival that happens all around the world, and we do it all around town. As you guys probably know, we had over 100 performances last year, and this year we would really like to include the Pocket Park. We also use Sherman Green Gazebo, the library, the Shoe Theater, FTC, Jennings Beach, people's houses, people's yards. You probably are all familiar with it, but I'm requesting permission to use the Pocket Park from 12 to 9. I'm in touch with Charlie McMahon over at Fairfield U's Center for Arts and Minds, so we're going to coordinate together, and we just want your blessing.
Great. That was one of the questions I had if you were coordinating. So the Pocket Park, that's just a little grassy area?
The one right next to Starbucks that we remodeled last year? Yeah.
Yes.
The beautiful one with all the benches. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, Lou, this is this handout that you gave us with all of the events from 2024 is pretty amazing. Have we approved all these?
We have.
Sherman?
Yeah, she normally comes. I think Mark came a couple times, but yeah.
Okay. Hey, there's just so many on here, I don't remember. So, all right, sounds like a good idea. Any questions for Lou? Lou, actually, I have one question. So the last last year it says 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I guess there's different times for the different locations, but you're requesting 12 p.m. to 9 p.m., correct?
That's what the university is asking for, so that's where we are right now, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right now, are you thinking that's going to change?
I don't know. They wanted me to come to this meeting or, attend over the phone and get the feedback. I think it would be great if it started at 10. The 8 o'clock last year was just one event, which was yoga at the beach, which I'm hoping we'll do again. Really, the true musical stuff starts around 10 or 11 or 12 or even later at some places. So it's up to the university. Right now they're asking for 12.
Okay.
It's a Saturday this year. Last year it wasn't a Saturday. It was a weekday. Again, a different, this is our first time doing it on a Saturday, so we're sort of not sure exactly, it may be it's going to be great, but we're not sure exactly how that's going to change the dynamic of the event.
Okay. Super. Any questions?
So why don't we just approve it for an earlier time to give them that buffer if anything changes? So we're only approving this venue?
We're only approving this venue tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only request.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make a motion modifying the requested time, you can make that motion, and then they can fall back to the 12 and the 9.
Okay. Lou, is that something you'd want to do just to cover your bases in case you can get in there earlier for setup?
Yeah, if we have enough performers who want to go earlier, I say that would be terrific, yes.
Okay.
Well, then you need to phrase it.
All right, so I can make a motion to amend the request for the time.
Why don't you make a motion to approve the request with an amended time?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the request to use Pocket Park with an amended time of 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
That sounds great.
Okay. Anyone? Chris, second. Okay. And, of course, this is subject to Fairview agreeing with this. So any further discussion?
So none of the other sites are under our...
Well, some of the sites are. Sherman, a number of the sites are.
Yard.
Yeah, Yacht, Sherman, so one or two others. But those, they've already been taken care of.
Okay.
Jennings Beach, Skate Park.
Okay.
So, but tonight, we're only talking about this one.
Makes sense.
Anything from the public? Back to the commission. All those in favor? Great. You're all set, Lou. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Welcome.
Okay. Mike Pruding of R.C. Bigelow requested to use Veterans Park to hold their company picnic on June 12, 2025, with the rain date of June 26, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., approximately 200 people.
Hi, this is Shannon Sorbara from Bigelow Tea. I'm calling in place of Mike. I can give you an update on the request.
Shannon, I'm sorry. Can you repeat your last name?
Sorbara, S-O-R-B-A-R-A.
And your address, Sharon?
Bigelow Tea is at 201 Black Rock Turnpike.
Okay, thank you. Just, if you would,
just a summary of, we have our annual employee picnic at Veterans Park for several years. We are requesting Thursday, June 12th. We have anywhere from 180 to 200 employees. We use the softball field, the bocce ball courts, and the picnic area. We have 3 food trucks, and I think we bring in a little speaker for music and announcements.
Okay. So how many years have they had it there?
It's definitely been several years, but it seems that every year they do it, there's more than 200 people. Are you guys bringing in your own grills and everything again? There was one year where you guys had an extensive setup.
No, we only use the food trucks now. We have a pizza truck, Super Duper Weenie, and an ice cream truck. So they handle all the food.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, we
Mm-hmm.
just, again, we'll continue talking about with the committee tightening this up because there's an approval for Dogwood that we'll cover later that easily has more people in this. So this probably could fall under that rule, but we don't have it in place, so it's kind of a gray area. But any questions? Yeah.
Where do people park? What does that look like?
There is a small parking lot there, and then there's on-street parking.
A lot of our employees will carpool. There's a lot of plant employees that don't live in Fairfield, and they carpool from the office on Black Rock. So we try to minimize the cars that are parking there.
But there's on-street parking on both Reef Road, and then there's the exit on the back.
It's easier sticker.
Well, it's
June 12th.
Okay.
I don't believe that's sticker parking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't believe they can put sticker parking there. Through the park, and Reef is definitely not permit parking because of the businesses.
Got it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody? Feel free to jump in.
I will make a motion to approve this.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? To the public?
Great. Thank you very much.
Wait, we're not there yet.
You have to vote.
Almost.
Hold your breath.
So back to the commission. All those in favor? Okay, now you can say thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we have the request from Matthew Reiser in conjunction with Land Rover Fairfield to host their first Cars and Coffee event at Jennings Beach, Sunday, May 4th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. We expect approximately 80 attendees and 40 to 50 vehicles. Matthew?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I also have David Simonton, who works at the dealership, who's also present on this call. So I do social media and event marketing for Land Rover Fairfield. And last year, we hosted our first Cars and Coffee event at the dealership, which was a big success. And we partnered with the Tasty Yolk food truck, who also runs a stand at Southport Beach, as well as a coffee vendor. And it was just a huge success. I've had people ask me what the next one's going to be. So I thought it would be really exciting to have it at one of Fairfield's beaches, such as Jennings Beach, because it's such a huge, large parking lot. And we wanted to see if we would be able to do a Cars and Coffee there, where it would just be the Land Rover vehicles as well as customer cars, the Tasty egg yolk truck, and the coffee truck. And we would not have any music or anything like that.
All right, so Matthew, at this event, you're bringing, what did I read, 8 to 10 of your cars?
Yes.
No. The 40 to 50 cars includes clients' cars, 6 to 8 of your cars. And do you come with signage, and is this a marketing sales event for you? What's
yes.
the
So
what's
yes,
the goal?
yes. So yes, we would bring a few of our new vehicles to showcase to clients as well as anyone who's around the area, because I know there's a lot of people that like to walk the beach. and as well as that down there in that community with the beachgoers. And I thought it would just be also a great way to interact with the people in the area, because when I take a car to do a photo shoot at the beach, I'm always having people come up to me, asking me questions. Oh, what's that car? Oh, that's cool. That's amazing. And it just had a light bulb in my head that if we did a Cars and Coffee, it could be very interactive with all the people and locals in the area, as well as clients. And yes, the 6 to 8 vehicles will be included in the 40 to 50, so it wouldn't be more than that.
Okay. So,
do you charge for?
Jamie, let me just one sentence, and then we'll. And Chris was first, and then.
Okay. Sorry.
So I have a little bit of a dilemma, a little bit of reluctance with this, and I want to hear from the other commissioners, because it is a for-profit organization setting up on one of our beaches. So I'm somewhat concerned about setting the precedent for that. However, the other side of the argument is it is Sunday, May 4th, so it's before the season begins. So I'm not sure where I am on this, but why don't we ask some questions and talk this through? Chris, you have a question?
Anthony, are they asking for a waivement of the fee?
I don't believe that was part of the request.
And what is the fee for? It's going to be.
I would think it's $800.
The cars technically wouldn't have beach.
It's before the season, so.
Would they be registered at that point in Fairfield? How's it domiciled?
Wouldn't matter. None of that matters.
Before the
Okay.
So Matthew, you're aware there's a fee?
What was that?
Are you aware that there's a fee if we were to approve this for using the
Yes.
park?
Yeah.
Are they minimal to it?
Jamie, do you have a question?
Are you covering the cost of coffee and Tasty Yolk for participants?
Yes. This is what we're going to do. The same thing we did at the dealership, where people would come up to the food truck and order what they want, so people do not have to pay to be there.
So we could see a big crowd if people hear that there's free Tasty Yolk and coffee, and all you have to do is go to the beach. Just ask.
Jamie will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Love Tasty Yolk, but
unless we make it an invite only.
Yeah, we can. This is David Symington from Land Rover Fairfield. How are you guys? So, yeah, we could do an invite only like we did last time at the store. And pretty much, obviously when our clientele come up to it, we'll more or less tell them, hey, we're providing Tasty Yolk, we're providing coffee like we did at the store. So kind of like weed out everybody too. But if you want to come down to get some free Tasty Yolk, you are more than welcome to.
You got to shame the freeloader.
They're very good, I have to say.
And that was going to be my question, because you said 40-plus cars, so how did you base that? Are they pre-registered? How did you come up with that number?
So what we did is at the store in the parking lot, because we are very organized with how we wanted to set up the lot, is that we had a few of our staff members, as they were coming in, count how many were in the lot, as well as how many were leaving. And we also did a lot of drone photography where we were able to see how many total were in the lot, and we were up to 40, 50 at our very first event.
It wasn't at a beach.
I've got a question. It's a big parking lot, like you mentioned, at Jennings. Is there a particular section of it that you had?
That is totally up to you guys. I just went there a few days ago, and I didn't realize how massive the parking lot is. So we're very amenable to, if you want us to be on the very far side, we're more than happy to be on the very end of the lot, out of everyone's way. We can be in the middle, beginning, however you guys would like to structure it.
So this isn't a closed event. This would be just open like anybody.
Yes. an open parking lot at that point.
Yeah.
So anyone who's just coming to wander, walk on the beach, they can.
Leash and stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I had the same question that you had, Brian, but I don't know the rules very well. So it's out of season, so I respect that, and I like the idea of supporting a local business. But are there rules about having for-profit businesses, marketing events, the sales event? Are there rules?
Yeah, so there are rules very specific in our rules and regulations that you can't operate a business on town property without the express permission from Parks and Rec Commission.
Gotcha.
So that's the
So the point is it's allowed if we.
It is allowed if you say so.
Gotcha.
So it effectively starts with a negative. You're not allowed to, but you can come and talk to us.
So how would this differ from like the Mom Beach 5K?
The what?
Like the Mom Beach 5K.
It doesn't necessarily. They still have to come before you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't see why we wouldn't.
Wait, Mom Beach is that non-profit?
Non-profit.
Yeah, when you guys do the 5K races, we come down and leave cars with with you guys over there for for display and whatnot. We do that with also the 5K races down in Campo Beach. So Ryan Ambrifi is the store owner of Land Rover Fairfield, and he's very involved with obviously the local town and also in Westport as well.
I guess going back to my question about, I think it would make a difference, at least for me, if you controlled the disbursement of food and drink, although I do want my free sandwich, but I could be a customer, you never know. But putting that aside, I just think having some control over that, either by station with a ticket, or if somebody comes up becomes a customer and interested, hand them a ticket. That way you don't get a big long line of outsiders potentially standing in front of Tasty Yolk and
And we can do like some sort of like bracelets, like how you would entering a venue, so we know who's a part of us.
Yeah, and you can give out more, but then you're controlling it.
Yeah. There's not a problem. There's definitely solutions to create and contain what we need to.
And that's actually what we did on the first Cars of Coffee. Is I had an RSVP website, so people would RSVP. So I knew whose names and how many people were coming, and we can do the exact same thing for this one, where people have to just put their email in, and as they come in, we know who's on the list or not.
Yeah. Anthony, what's our normal start time down at Jennings Beach?
Oh, Beach Open. Well, Beach Open
for our events.
Normally
the
nothing.
races are pretty early, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think things don't start until 8 normally, 7:30, 8ish. Beach itself opens at 5 a.m. So the gates go up at 5 a.m. So.
Yeah, I was just thinking that 8 o'clock is kind of early, but if that's consistent, then it's not anything different for the neighbors. And as I said before, I can debate this either way, but I do think the fact that it's prior to when we officially open, and it is early in the morning, 8 a.m. to 11 o'clock, I guess I could be okay with it. What do we all think about?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to pay the $800.
It's not just about that.
No, I agree, but
it's about precedent, right? And whether we've set a precedent or whether this will set a precedent and cause problems in the future.
But the fact that the rules are specific to what we said doesn't necessarily mean that the next person, particularly if it's after Memorial Day, that anyone can say, well, you approved that, so you should look favorably upon my event. So we still will control that.
Hey, Brian. Yeah. What about, would there be a cleanup plan or responsibility to?
Oh, for sure. Oh, most definitely. We'll bring our own garbage cans as well in our bags to change those all out. And the guys from Tasty Yolk and the coffee, they have their garbage bags and everything out. Yep. And when we had it at the store last year, everyone was pretty respectful. Nobody threw anything on the ground because they just know you're dealing with a different type of clientele when it comes to Land Rover. Not to sound bougie or anything, but people respect, one another's property, and they know not to be throwing crap on the ground.
Am I? No, not yet. Not yet, but maybe. No. Of course you can.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. All right. Any other questions? What do we think? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'm going to make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Anything further? Any further questions or comments? Public? Back to the commission. Hold on a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, you're all set.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Jamie, we'll see you down there.
I got to get my Land Rover first.
Perfect. Come on by.
All right.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.
So, Chelsea Adote, representing East Coast region of the country as Miss East Coast Petite, requests to hold the Carnival fundraiser event at Jennings Beach May 17th, bring awareness to foster children. Partnering with DCF, all proceeds will go to foster children family gifting their dream vacation. Okay. Chelsea, are you on the line?
Hi, yes, I'm on the line. Thank you for having me. So, yes, my name is Chelsea Adate. I'm just looking to have a fundraiser, which would be an inflatable carnival, which just means 5 to 9 inflatables. I'm estimating, or bounce houses, I'm estimating 100 to 200 people. I would like to have, and I have one confirmed, food truck and possibly a DJ.
So, Chelsea, if you would, give us your address for the record.
Sure. It's 6 Lane, Lane as in Nancy, E, Avenue in Trumbull.
Chelsea, you have 2 brochures in here. One that shows a Ferris wheel and a carousel, and then another one with just the inflatable. You're only talking about the inflatables, correct?
Yes, no actual mechanical rides, just inflatables, 5 to 9, I guess, bounce houses.
Oh, and there's talk to us about the petting zoo you're talking about.
Yeah, so I will like to have it could just be a pony ride or a petting zoo, but I don't have to have it if you guys are not comfortable with it.
Chris, you have a question?
Chelsea, do you have vendors lined up?
No, I do not. It would just be the food truck, the inflatables. I'm a nurse, a school nurse at Flood Middle School, and the students would be volunteering there. I would have also attendees that come with the inflatable company at each ride, but nothing other than that, no vendors.
Okay. Yes.
I just have a quick question about the petting zoo. Well, actually, about the inflatables too. Do you intend to have a waiver for people to be signing to be able to attend?
For the pony rides or just inflatables in general?
I think for everything.
I didn't, but I can.
Okay. What? Yeah. Why don't we assume that that's going to be a requirement?
Make sure we know what we're doing.
You say 5 to 9 inflatables. I'm just curious because the picture, it's all pretty much level ground, but I've seen inflatables where they rise 1 or 2 stories, and there's slides and different things. Have you selected the 5 to 9 inflatables that you're talking about? And could you tell us what you're thinking?
Yes, I have selected them already. And they are, I guess, just bounce houses. It's not like how it looks on the picture. They're individual inflatables and just bounce houses or obstacle courses.
And where are you planning on putting these? Would these be in the parking lot or on the beach?
Yes, in the parking lot.
Okay. Just keep in mind, if this is approved, that you wouldn't be able to stake any of the inflatables. They'd have to use weights to hold them down. The company would know how to do that, but just not allowed to stake in the parking lot.
Yes, okay, that is fine. And I spoke to them, and they said that was fine, that they can do that.
I'm pretty much on board with all this, but I'm not sure about the petting zoo.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I agree. I think petting zoo brings into the equation things that we don't necessarily want to consider. You know, I mean, I would imagine that they probably need some sort of special insurance for a petting zoo.
Yes, the company I'm working with said that she does have it, and if you guys needed to see it, she can send it over.
Lead to the health department involved with that.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, part of the issue also is you're not sure what you want to do, whether it's like a single pony ride or a petting zoo. So it's kind of hard for us to really get behind that notion when we're not sure what you're really looking for.
Okay, no, it would be pony rides. One horse she would be bringing.
So you'd have one pony.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit different. 200 people. Yeah, one pony for 200 people. Well,
feed him well.
I guess it would be more for the children. I think she said the max would be 140.
Jamie will be down there with his tasty yolk.
I know. Right. I'm going to be living in my new Land Rover.
Okay. Well, we can, if you'd like, you can make a motion for the approval of this, for everything presented there.
I have a question.
If you like, but ask the question first.
Can you tell me what inflatable bumper cars, and are you planning to have those there?
So we won't be having the inflatable bumper cars.
Okay.
Yes, we won't have that one. It would just be the standalone bounce houses or obstacle inflatables.
Good. Thanks.
Again, what about where in the parking lot would this be set up? Does that matter to us?
I think for the most success for this event, this would probably be in the center back of the parking lot, close to the Sandcastle playground. But if you were looking at the Sandcastle playground, to the left of the walkway, I think that would make the most sense.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Over there. And we can control that. We can tell them exactly where we'd like them to set up. Good. And it is, again, prior to, which I think, Kelly, you said in your note to them, 24th wasn't going to work, right. So we moved it up a week. So it is prior to checking cars. Okay. Bridget, do you want to make the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Then you're going to have to word it if we're not going to include the horse.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the Carnival fundraiser event at Jennings Beach on May 17th to include inflatables, 1 to 2 food trucks, and a pony ride enclosure with 5 to 9 inflatables.
I thought we were going to do Okay. If that's your motion, then that's fine. I thought you were going to exclude the pony ride.
No, I'm fine with pony rides.
Oh.
But not a petting zoo.
I'm fine with anything.
Yeah, no, I think you're good.
That's fine. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just, that's fine. You make a motion, you can make the motion any which way you want.
Okay, so I'm including the pony ride.
Okay, I thought 2 seconds ago that we were talking about not.
So, no, that was Dylan.
Oh, okay.
And DJ.
I was confused. Okay. So basically, the motion is as requested, just substituting the petting zoo with the pony ride.
Right.
Okay. We have a motion on the table. Do we have first and a second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second for Dylan. Okay. Yes, Chris. Now,
are we in the motion limited it to one pony, or what if they decide to take 2 ponies?
I think you said a pony.
You said, yeah, that's why I'm just curious.
I can amend my motion.
A pony ride.
Pony?
Pony rides. Pony rides.
Pony rides.
Like a pink pony club or something.
One particular company.
Nobody got it.
Say pony rides.
So, make an amendment.
If you'd like to make an amendment to include not petting zoo, but pony rides, then that would be fine.
Okay.
And Dylan, you second.
I will keep my second, yeah.
Okay.
Now, are we including waivers that are going to have that waiver?
Chelsea, you're going to have to include waivers.
Okay, for whoever. Sorry.
Participating on the pony ride and or the inflatable.
Okay, that is fine.
Okay. Any further? Nice catch. Any further comments or questions? Public? Back to the commission. So Kelly, the motion did not include specifically, but Chelsea knows that they are going to be required. Okay. All those in favor? Chelsea, you're all set?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Okay. Request from Tim Belzer to propose food waste drop-off containers to be placed in the parking lot at Lake Mohegan. Pickup will be handled by Curbside Compost, who has agreed to service the remote bin.
Okay, I'm Tim Besler. I'm the chair of the Solid Waste and Recycling Commission. And
Tim, your address for the record?
178 Glengarry Road. That's Woodfield Village. I sent some information ahead of time. I don't know if
yes, we have all received it.
Okay, I don't know if I need to go into the reason why we're trying to increase the amount of separated food waste. But basically, food waste is about 40 to 50% of municipal solid waste, which is sent from Fairfield from the transfer station to the Bridgeport Trash and Energy Plant. And the reason food waste, the state has a priority to remove it is it's got a lot of water in it. It doesn't incinerate very well. And there's a movement all over the state and the country really to separate food waste. Right now, Curbside Compost is a company that picks up food waste from restaurants, from grocery stores, from residents who pay for it, and all the elementary schools in town, you may know, now separate their food waste. It's a great program. Curbside picks that, and there's a separate area for the last year or so, there's a separate area at the transfer station where people can bring in, if you want to separate your food, just bring it in, and that is also picked up by Curbside. The fact that the transfer station is in the extreme south part of town, it's a long drive for a lot of people. It's 7 miles from me, for instance. So we've been talking about finding some remote locations for people to drop food waste off. in the northern part of town or central part of town. And we felt that the Mohegan Lake parking lot is be a good location for a lot of people. I personally went down there, and I think I sent the photo around. I have it here if you don't see it. But to me, the area when you first go into Mohegan Lake, to the right, there's no parking there. It's relatively even, away from all of from the hiking trails, of course, the other side from the swimming area and all that. And it would be a good place to have a couple of these bins so that people can come in and drop their food waste, turn around and leave, not interfere with any parking or anything. And of course, curbside compost, they've already agreed, if this goes ahead, they've already agreed to pick it up once a week most of the year, but in the warmer months they pick it up twice a year. The containers themselves, they're called Metro Store. I went up to Manchester, Connecticut, which has about 4 of these. And in the last year or so that they've had them, they said they've had very little contamination. They're closed containers, and there's not an odor problem. So when people go there, the only people that can use the that would be able to use the containers are residents of Fairfield who have a beach sticker and have rights to go to the transfer station now. You have to get an app on your phone, and you'd have to apply for it, and it would be approved by the department to make sure that whoever is applying is a resident and has a beach sticker. When you go up to these containers, you go to your app, you press a button, and for 1 minute, there's a foot pedal to open this thing, but you have 1 minute to put your food in and automatically close it. The Department of Public Works has agreed to put if this goes ahead, to put a concrete pad there to hold these 2 containers that would be bolted down.
You've already spoken to DPW?
Well, we've talked. John Cattell and I have. John Cattell attends our meetings, of course, and we've spoken to him. He says, if this is approved, the DPW would be willing to do the pad. And the cost of this, the total cost is about $15,000, and we believe there's plenty of budget to do that.
Where? Who? I'm sorry.
Oh, in the department, in solid waste and recycling department.
Okay.
Now that is
making
not
sure.
Yeah, that is not
the whole DPW.
Now that of course, the budget process isn't completed. It's not a sure thing. But what I'm trying to do now is get as much information as I can about this. Hopefully get approval to have it at that location. We had a lot of discussions about other people that said, well, could we have it at a school? Well, that would not be a good idea because people are coming in all the time. There's not a lot of area schools. Fire department is a possibility, I suppose. But that particular, I actually rode my bike through that lot the other day. Hard, and I've done a lot of hiking and snowshoeing there. I've never seen it completely full of cars. But if you look at the photo, the area that I'm talking about is away from all the designated parking areas anyway. So I don't think it would really interfere with people. And again, it would not, because they're closed containers, and they are not. At least Manchester has not had problems with animals trying to get at them or anything like that. So, if there's anything else, I've got all the other details about this. But inside of the container itself is a standard 65-gallon roll-off, and what Curbside would do. When the container opens, it's the lid that opens if you put your food waste in. When Curbside comes in, they have a key that would open the front of this, take the container out, empty it, clean it as needed, and put it back. Again, once a week, but probably twice a week in the summer.
Couple questions. The south side of the Lake Mohegan parking lot, I thought Conservation controlled that.
Well, we control the parking lot, but I would definitely not agree to put something there without having Conservation's approval as well, because
I thought when we were looking at potentially pickleball courts there, we needed Conservation to approve.
Well, because of how close we were to their conservation area, but they do store a lot of their trucks and equipment back here as well. There's an entrance to a trail literally right where this red circle is as well. So I would make sure, I mean, if you were choosing to approve this, I would just make it contingent on conservation also agreeing that this is something that they would want there.
Well, could I say the circle is not exactly as good as I could do on the photo.
Yeah, if it's approved, we will work with you and DPW.
I made sure it's away. I know on the other, on that side of the lot, there is one path that goes up into that other area. I kept it away from that as much as I could.
The other question I have is you said that Curbside Compost has agreed to services.
That's correct.
And they've agreed, meaning they're not going to be paid for this, or?
Oh, yes. They right now Curbside charges this transfer station for the service they do. They charge customers. They charge the school. Yeah, the budget price of this includes their service.
Okay, so they've been hired.
They have not been.
They are going to be hired to do this as opposed to volunteering to do this because it's such a great thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my question was if they have volunteered to do this, for how long, and then what? But, okay, you're going to hire them to service this.
Yeah, and of course, they're already picking up food from all over town. And there are some residents, one of the members of our commission actually pays a monthly fee to have come to his house once a week. And I think something like, I don't have the number, 50 or 60 people around town do that. Okay. But he picks up in Trader Joe's and things like that. So it would be an extension of the route he already has.
And the app, you said it would only be available for residents and only available for residents with stickers.
Right.
So the app, there's not going to be a fee for the app?
There's no fee for the app, and there's no fee for people dropping food waste either. You can do that free right now at the transfer station. But I did check the company, the MetroStore company. They control the app. They run it. The only thing that Fairfield would have to do is someone in the department would have to, as people apply for this, they'd have to check the name, make sure they have the address, and that they have a sticker, and then it would go through. And there's also a record. Anyone that comes in and drops this off, there's a record online. The company has a record of who did it at what time.
So the app would then go to...
Yeah, it's not something we're interested in doing.
Yes,
it's not going to be my staff that's going to do it.
Exactly. No.
It would have to be somebody else. It's not going to be live in Parks and Recreation.
That's what I was asking because
where beach stickers live.
You could imply that someone in your office would have to check.
We are not going to be involved in this.
Oh no, and I didn't mean to suggest that. I mean, I'm at this commission meeting because Parks and Rec has control over that.
Right. So but to tie it to a beach sticker, DPW doesn't have access to the beach stickers. So it would have to be tied to something that they do. If it's a separate pass, and a good example of like a separate pass is the clamming license. They sell those online from our website. They use our website, but it goes straight through conservation, and then those guys mail out their pass. I mean, it could be something like that where, again, we're not involved as a department, but.
No, I'm understanding it because when I say beach sticker, to me that's the transfer sticker sticker as well. But you have the list. You've got the registration. Okay, that's it. Well, I think someone in our commission could take responsibility for that. I haven't talked to them about that.
I don't know how you would unless you coordinate with your department.
Yeah,
which. They're not going to coordinate with them unless you gave them a full listing of the people with parking passes, which I don't think we want to do.
No.
Oh, no.
Can I ask a question?
So there's, let's just develop this a little bit more.
Why does it matter if they have a beach sticker? Like, why can't, if someone wants to recycle their food waste, why not? I get that the app then gives you some measure of control or some measure of checking if there's abuse or whatever, but why can't it just be I want to get the app and recycle my food and
or you're a town resident?
Well, that is a good question, and I don't have an answer for it. The reason I brought that up is because John Cattell feels very strongly. He has this Lisa Canard who runs the transfer station, that if someone does not have a beach sticker, they may get this app and go and put their garbage in this thing and avoid paying for garbage. That's the concern. I think what I'm hearing, and maybe what I'm saying is that in some way, shape, or form, we have to make sure that people that sign up for this really just want to do food waste. And one way to do that, and I guess one of the way we could find out if anyone's abusing it, is if they're registered with the beach sticker.
Right.
So I guess the detail I can't answer right now.
Yeah, that doesn't control or lack of abuse.
Yeah, exactly. It does not. Yeah. No. And frankly, and again, this is and so I talked to the director of the sanitation department, director of Manchester, a couple of times. I met up and visited him. He said they have had just about zero contamination. Now that said, people have come to the transfer station, and Lisa told me there's been occasion where people will throw plastic or shredded. It's not a large. Curbside tells me it's not a huge percentage. It's actually very low, but it has happened, and it certainly could happen with this too. But I know that the other local users of these containers, I know that the Housatonic Resource Recovery Authority, they have like 15 of these on order for towns up there like Newtown and Bethel, etc. I don't think they're not there yet. So I guess I can't. The detail of how who qualifies for this and who approves it is something we have to work out.
And tell me again, who is paying for the containers? The Solid Waste Commission?
Solid Waste Department, yes.
Yeah.
The department would have to pay. I'm thinking out loud. I think, first of all, I don't think the numbers of people that are doing this is going to be extreme, and I think the people that initially sign up for this, that'll be the biggest number right then. I certainly think I and some of my commission members could probably volunteer to say that, okay, curbside, MetroStar tells me, okay, we have a list of people that want to sign up for this app. Can you check them out and approve it? And then I guess I'd have to come and make sure I'd have to either come and make sure they have a transfer station beat sticker, or in some other way have a criteria to approve them or reject them. And again, I wouldn't want it would be people who it would have to be a Fairfield resident.
Okay, but how would you even check that?
I would have to check. We'd have to check this.
Considering Easton is
maybe you could.
Up the road.
Well,
Trumbull is, the other direction.
Maybe you can have a proactive when car registration renewals for the tax go out, you offer people, hey, we have this new service, here's your code. You have an option of using the app. If you don't. If you do, use this code, and it's attached to the car, and then you're responsible for whoever uses that app that's tied to that code, and it's proactive. So that's an idea.
Well, to your point, I'm not sure we should really care about that.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. If people want to recycle,
let them recycle.
Recycle, right?
Well, the important thing is it's not recycled. Food waste is not recycled. The food waste is taken to it. But to your point, you want to do the right thing. Yes.
Tim has a question for that.
I'm just curious. Are you trying to find more people to recycle waste, or are you trying to save people the trouble of driving to the transfer station?
Well, both. I mean, we want to encourage people to separate their food waste more than they are now. I mean, I personally, I live 7 miles away, but once a week I take my food waste down and combine it with a trip to Whole Foods or something else. But it's still, I'm using more gas than I would if I went around the corner to the parking lot.
So is this going to be marketing to the same people that are currently doing this, or how are you going to create more awareness of Fairfield that now that you have this option?
Well, as soon as this is approved, our commission is going to have an education program. We're going to let everyone know about this in lots of different ways. I mean, hopefully get it in the First Selectman newsletter. I don't do social media, but a lot of people do. Yeah, to your point, we want to get the word out, make sure people understand that it's available, and also what the restrictions are. No plastic bags, etc. So by the way, I don't know if I mentioned the timing. We certainly wouldn't have before July 1st, but that's this year. We're sometime this summer. And before it happens, we will get, we need an education program, an outreach to let people know what's going on.
So Anthony, let me ask a question. If DPW put in a pad, concrete, 48 by 78 concrete pad, and this doesn't work out so well. We got a 48 by 78 inch pad in this location in the parking lot, Furthermore.
Right.
And the pad would be 2 inches, 4 inches above?
Well, I don't think it needs to be any more.
Okay. It's a question for the director.
Yeah, it's probably, I would think, between 2 to 4 inches, if not 6. But yeah, I don't know how far down in the ground they would pour it, but
certainly enough that anyone walking a dog towards
is tripping
over it, especially in the dark.
Correct.
Yeah. This is a photo of the one at Manchester. It doesn't seem to be that high, but yeah, it's got a.
What are we asked to approve as a commission? Just the location? If the program has a lot of open questions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns. Are we just being asked that if the program is approved by whoever, that we're okay with the location, or are we actually evaluating the program?
I think we're on the location.
Okay. That's the only reason I'm here, just to make sure that to request that this location is okay if everything else gets approved, and obviously not everything is approved.
Who after us would have to approve it?
Well, I would want to make sure the conservation is on board with the location.
But that's
as far
essentially the location question as well.
Correct. So we need us and them, because it's a shared spot.
I know. But again, that's just the location.
Just the location. I think, to Mr. Besler's point is DPW or solid waste, whoever's taking this on is going to have to invest a significant amount of capital to even do this and want to do this. I mean, $15,000 as an investment for something like this. I don't know where they stand on. I have not had that conversation. Maybe you have. I mean, it sounds like the commission wants to do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean the department will be doing it.
Well, I think all I can say is I know John Cattell told, as part of the budget process, indicated that was the amount that he had expected to do for this. Now, their budget is $5 million, but to answer your question, no, the budget process, as you know, is still going on. We don't know when it's all done whether this will happen or not. But I'm just trying to make sure that we get as much information as we can, or get as many approvals as we need to, in case this goes ahead. And of course, the Department of the Solid Waste and Recycling Department is part of Public Works.
Right. So do you think it would behoove us to speak to conservation?
Yeah,
first.
I think this should be tabled. That would be until we have more details on it.
Okay.
The program needs to be worked out before we're just dealing with location. That seems to me like one of the last things that should be done.
Yeah. Right. I think that, I'm nervous about creating another location for waste, which is what it is when we already have one that's functioning now. I was at Mohegan Lake today, and I went up that path with my dog. I could see where a pad could be a plowing hazard. In the winter, it could be in the way when the parking lot's being cleaned, or if trash gets spilled on a Monday, but they're going to come on a Wednesday or a Thursday to clean it up, then there's going to be there's going to be a mess there for a while.
Right.
So those are the concerns I have. We already have a functioning waste location, and if somebody really wants to compost, they can go to the transfer station. Or you said there's other locations around town as well.
Well, the transfer station is the only public location
Okay.
other than the schools and individuals who pay for the service.
I do think we need to just talk to conservation and maybe tighten this up a little bit. I think in general, if we are encouraging more composting and recycling, it's a good thing. So the fact that we're not going to be making a decision today does not indicate that we aren't, we wouldn't eventually support this. We may, but I do think we just need to, tighten up some of the information on it.
Well, no, I very much appreciate that, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get here in March, so that more whatever questions aren't answered now we can get to. I'm fine. And our next meeting's on the 10th, I think, the second Monday, and I'll discuss with them what we talked about. Now, in terms of conservation, do you want me to contact them?
I'm contacting them right now.
I mean, at this point, keep me informed and let me know what you do.
Okay. Great. Super. Thank you.
I just wanted to add one point. I will say that I appreciate the idea of this, because I know I would be far more likely to do this with it being a lake. It never even crossed my mind to try to gather all this kind of stuff up and haul all the way across town to the transfer station. So this would be something I would actually consider using, and whereas before, not. So I'm
totally agree.
Well, I let me just say that I didn't imagine I would be doing it either, because it's just Laura and me. We don't waste food, except we have banana peels and rinds for cantaloupe and stuff. When I heard one of the other commission members say that since she separated her food, she actually takes her trash pays for it at the transfer station. It's gone from going down 1 week to going down every 3 weeks. I'm already paying for it in our condominium, but the amount of trash I have to take out to the bin now is a third of what it was. I'm doing it just because, and I keep the stuff in the refrigerator in a couple of containers before I take it down once a week. No, it's not something that it would be a lot easier if there was something along close.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. And I appreciate seeing how another commission operates. The things that come before you are a lot different than comes before us.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Robert Johnstone with a marina appeal for slip H37. Mr. Johnstone?
Yes. Hi. Yes, I'm on the phone.
Okay, and Ms. Johnstone, we have.
Hello? Oh, man. Hello? 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 Hello, this is Robert Johnstone. Wow. Hello?
Yes, are you there?
Yeah, what happened?
All right, sorry about that. Looks like we're back together here.
Ms. Johnstone, apologies for that. Okay. So,
all right, let me explain. Let me explain, please.
Go ahead.
Mr. Cathcart informed me that since his position, he has never heard of the board rescinding a late fee. I hope that changes tonight. And please let me explain. I live in Florida for the winter. However, I'm not a Florida resident, and I have for the previous year sent in my application from Florida to Fairfield, complete, always early, without a problem. I was shocked after February 12th to receive an email stating I was late and being charged a late fee. I can only assume it's lost in the mail or lost at the town hall. I have no proof. But please consider 30 years in the marina, and I've never been late with my application. And you can imagine the mail between Fairfield to Fairfield is pretty much a guarantee. But but mail from Florida to Fairfield can be problematic, as proven to me last month. I put a stop payment on the check. I approached the postmaster here, and she said it could be anywhere. I also sent overnight mail a reapplication, and it was received by the Parks and Marina Commission, I think, on the 17th at 10:49 a.m. So I hope my appeal is heard and accepted. And that's my story.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know if Mr. Cathcart is wholly accurate that we've never waived a late fee.
Well, he said in his tenure.
Okay, that's fair.
Only 6 years.
And this is Brian Moreau. I don't know that I've approved an appeal during Mr. Cathcart's tenure, because most of the appeals that come before us are we forgot, we didn't get the notice, the dog ate it. We've heard all sorts of different things. I did speak to Mr. Cathcart on your behalf, and he does support what you are saying, that you've never been late during his tenure. I assume the years prior, you've never been late. We can't be held responsible, however, for the U.S. Postal Service, and that's just real unfortunate. But as I said, I don't think I've ever approved an appeal. I'm usually in the minority with regards to that. But I hear what you're saying, and I'm only one vote on the commission, but I am in favor of supporting your request.
Wow.
Which is, yeah, I know. So I do believe you, and I hope you're not playing me the fool, but I do believe you in this case, given your history.
Well, I appreciate that.
A number of other people in the room that you have to convince.
Okay.
I was just wondering, with your conversation with Justin, why was he in favor?
No, it wasn't whether he was in favor or not. I just wanted to confirm that what Mr. Johnson was saying about his applications have always come in early or timely. They were always complete, and Justin and his team has never had to go back and forth. You didn't put this in, you didn't. Yeah, it's always been very efficient and by the book. Yeah. Jamie.
I just wanted to get I'm not saying I'm in favor or not in favor. It's more a fact question. So the final email reminder went out on the 12th, and you said that you got that and couldn't believe that it wasn't in, and that you sent it in and it got here by the 17th, is what you said, which would have been on time because, right, they had till the 19th. So did it come in on the 17th? Or?
The 17th of this month, I'm sorry.
Oh, this month?
Yes.
If I can interrupt.
Okay.
Yes. So Mr. Johnstone sent put a stop payment on the original check.
I did put a stop payment, yes.
We haven't received that original mail that was mailed sometime in, I'm assuming, early February. He sent a second letter, tracked it overnight, and we received it on...
Well, the reapplication was sent before your meeting, so that maybe that could help you make a decision. So there's two checks. One is for the marina fee and one is for the late fee. And I was hoping that if it was rescinded, you could tear the late fee check up or send it back. That was my thinking.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So it was a month. It was a month, correct? Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry for the confusion.
Mr. Johnston, did you have a copy of the original check in your checkbook?
I do not. Okay. No, I do not. I might be able to get the report that I did put a stop payment on it with the bank and the check number and everything, but we could try to go through that. But I appeal to you guys that, 30 years in the Marina, always early, and a good soldier in there, that you'd give me a little compensation.
All right. Any other questions? Thoughts?
Is the slip assigned already?
Whenever somebody puts in an appeal, I immediately hold that slip till whatever decision the commission makes. So that slip is still available for Mr. Johnson.
Okay, thank you.
Given Mr. Johnston's 30 years of longevity, I will make a motion to approve.
Approve.
The refunding of the late fee.
Yeah, all right, so the approving of both the granting of the slip and the waiving of the...
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone want to second that?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? All right, Ms. Johnstone, you are all set. We have approved your request for your slip H37, and we will be refunding the $250 that you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good night and good boating season.
All right. Thank you very much. Happy boating.
All right. Good night.
The first one is
Careful.
I swore we approved someone last year.
I'm getting old.
I thought we did.
No, we definitely did.
I thought we did too, but you did.
There was a woman that came in and her husband couldn't make it. He was the one that forgot to do it.
Uh-huh.
Look at the record. Look at the voting record.
Yeah.
It's usually like 8-1.
True.
We approved one during COVID.
It was tight.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that we haven't approved
Oh, I
that.
see what you're saying.
Yeah, I do know that.
You
Well, yeah, he's my brother. Okay. Board of Ed report?
Yeah. So just a couple of things. Obviously, we, like Parks and Rec, we're in the middle of our budget process. The Board of Ed presents tomorrow night in front of the Board of Finance. We did have, of the $3.9 million cut, we did have $2 million restored to us by the Board of Selectmen. So we are now looking at a $1.9 million cut, and that's what is before the Board of Finance at this time. Very happy that the working group is now officially underway. That working group is the one that is looking at various facilities in town for purposes of getting, I only know about Dwight, but just for purposes of getting, with an engineer, with professionals, better estimates on exactly what can be done on certain properties, whether it's a child's garden, what we're looking at for our ECC and Dwight, because we're literally looking possibly at two different locations, the existing one or moving it up on top of the hill. So that's going to be underway. The Ward Field, I believe, now has all four.
It's open.
It,
Lights are down.
the lights are now down, so that hazard is removed.
Yep. All deemed unsafe.
All
Wow.
really?
Oh.
And
I'm assuming that they'll replace them at some point.
That's my,
Probably get that done.
we haven't
Sorry.
had that
My guess.
discussion yet. I just know we got the notification that it was all down.
you can get that done for less than $2 million. That got back.
Is that baseball? Football field.
And then just two other things that I thought might be interesting is that we are taking a look finally at our tech policies. If you've been following anything on social media online of looking at, there's some parents pushing for the away for a day kind of philosophy towards what happens in the school buildings. So the policy committee is looking at those tech policies, and we're also looking at our community use of facilities. And Parks and Rec keeps getting talked about with its 100% requirement for Fairfield residents and all of the difficulties that can come with that and the expectations. And so we're trying to resolve that, and it's taking a really long time. So that's it for my update.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
So $3.9 million was carved out, $2 million was added back.
Correct.
What was being carved out that might not be, or may not be back?
We have, in terms of how we're going to make up that shortage.
No. If you were cutting $3.9 million, you crossed off.
No. We didn't. we approved our budget, it went to the selectmen. The first selectman's budget had cut it essentially $3.9 million. The Board of Selectmen put that back. So the Board of Ed hasn't done anything.
Okay, so you still need to find out what you're going to...
That's correct.
Right, because Board of Selectmen they can only give the number. They can't go line by line and say it's going to be X, Y, and Z.
Okay, so still, you guys got to come up with $1.9 million of savings.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
I mean, some of the topics that have been talked about, there's been discussion of changing the bus distance for elementary and middle school. That's kind of one of the hot topics. There could be various programming things with elementary school that we might consider. There are also plenty of non-programmatic things that we could talk about. We have, as a board, have not had that discussion yet. We did have a discussion about transportation, but nothing else has been discussed yet at the Board of Ed level.
Is there much traction on this idea I saw where they might look at overlapping functions with the town? They have redundancy?
Yeah, I mean, we're completely open to that. We've had a not myself, the superintendent had a conversation with West Hartford, which is a very similar sized town and district in many demographically, quite similar to Fairfield, and that was something that has been touted as they've had great success with that. We've looked into it. It doesn't seem to be quite as successful as, I mean, it's a great theory, but we aren't finding anyone out there who's achieving it really, really well, but we're perfectly open. Our chair has named one of our Board of Ed members. Mr. Gerber named Mrs. Vitale to kind of work together and be liaison on that issue to see what they can come up with. So I don't think it's anything that's going to help us meet this budget issue, which is kind of the bigger issue.
Maybe
it's going to be more long term.
Maybe there's a pilot area to try.
Right.
Just on the busing change, what's the timeline look like? Would that, I mean, if that goes through, would that be for the 2020?
This coming school year, September.
Okay.
Yeah. So what has happened is that the policy committee went ahead and approved the change, but we were very, very explicit about this. We approved it so that it is an option for the full board. Mm-hmm. It is not, say, miraculously, the whole full $1.9 million were restored. We're not asking for that policy to be considered. Nothing becomes policy until the full board approves it. We wouldn't even move it forward to the full board. It's purely as an option. So policy committee approved it, so now that's in our back pocket as something that we can use. The one thing that was really productive is that in the policy committee meeting, a lot of members of the public were there speaking about it, and we were taking notes. They had some ideas on other possible efficiencies that we could consider. We have now put it over to the finance subcommittee of the Board of Ed so that they can get pricing on things. One example of one such idea was the one thing that drives everybody crazy is seeing these empty buses. It's maddening, and there's not much we can do about it. But therefore, when we know these routes, one possibility would be to start overfilling capacity. Now, there's certain routes we know are filled. The Stratfield area to Tomlinson for middle school, those buses are packed. We wouldn't mess with that. But some of those buses which are consistently, I'm going to make up numbers, could seat 50 and they come with 25, well, then maybe we can make two routes into one where the distance isn't too great and start making back money like that. So Mill Hill also has more sidewalks so that we can have more walkers there. So there are some other things, and if those things end up being, again, going to make up money, say that could account for $500,000. Changing the distance would be about $760,000. Well, maybe we'll just go with the 500 and find the money elsewhere, but that's stuff we're working on.
No.
Anything else? Thank you. Okay. Director and program reports.
Yep, program report. We're in the middle of budget season, as Jen just said. I presented to the Board of Finance last night, finished up just after midnight. 5-hour meetings, never fun. I was a little over 2 hours of that. They were very receptive to our budgets. I didn't get any pushback. What I would say is out of the ordinary pushback, where it seemed like there were things that they were targeting to cut. So I left there with a positive feeling. Easter is coming up. So we've got our Beach Bunny 5K on April 12th, Saturday. So I think Galen's still working on that. Runners are about half of what we normally are at this point. So, and maybe it's because of the school vacation and how that falls. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe people are just waiting to see what the weather is going to look like, and we'll get a late push of people registering. Other than that, we are just plugging away. Got a couple open positions in the office that we're trying to fill. We're advertising right now, so hopefully we'll get those filled pretty quickly with high-quality candidates and go from there.
What positions?
Rec coordinator, aquatic coordinator, those two for sure.
Okay.
And the director's approvals, Dover Festival, 25 plus years in Lincoln Park Market. Remember, one Dogwood Festival, at one point, didn't they have alcohol? Didn't they come to us about alcohol one year? And so question, so this
They
year,
may have. I'm
Just
not.
for example,
I'm not sure.
at the
No,
building
no.
department?
No, Dogwood.
Oh,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I thought one year they did alcohol, but they again, including alcohol.
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Thank you. And for the good of the order, Justin, can you just share with us a little bit of some of the numbers from the marina this year?
So with the increase in the slips, it was basically we didn't have any more or less turnover than normal. Couple people have boats that fit in a large slip and also fit in a small slip, just how the measurement is, and I don't want to go into too much in the minutia. A couple people talked about possibly downsizing. Only one person did. Offers are out for new slips. 34 smalls went out.
All right, of the total slips, what was the renewal number?
538.
538 renewed?
539 with Mr. Johnstone, so we had a 10%, the typical 10% turnover.
So 34 small have gone out?
34 small, 6 medium, and 20 large gives us that 600 number. And I've already gotten 12 small back, 2 mediums, 3 larges. Deadlines are coming up. Medium actually was yesterday, so I'm going to send out another round. Small offer deadline is going to be Friday, and large offer deadline is this upcoming Monday.
How many of the mediums were?
6.
6 were applications sent. And so all 6?
Sorry. 2 came back.
2 came back. Okay.
So, 30%, 40% approval rate. The smalls, typically, I'm expecting some folks to come in last minute with their offer acceptance tomorrow and Friday.
Okay. So we still have 43
correct
open spots.
And offers are going to keep just cycling out till we fall.
Super. Thank you.
No problem.
I always had this question I meant to ask you. Do we ever let somebody say, if I have a slip, but I just decided to give it to my neighbor and let him put his vote, or do you track it by vote number?
I do my best.
Okay, that's curious.
We make sure everybody brings in the proper paperwork, and then...
So it's a vote license number?
Yeah,
registration. Okay, that's curious.
Okay.
Do we need to discuss what we're going to talk about for our real meeting?
No.
Okay.
No, there's, we will, let's talk about it between now and the April meeting, as to whether we want to schedule events or not.
Okay.
But
So I just email you?
What's that?
Email you?
Yeah. And then if it makes sense to have a subcommittee meeting, then we'll just post it and we'll get together. But there's some stuff happening this week, so we're not sure. All right. Anything else? All right. Then we are adjourned.